Money Radio, thank you for joining us. We are back with Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Of course, Laura is an attorney. She is a real estate agent. She works with people on commercial and residential and land transactions. She can help to resolve problems when they arise. She can help to make sure that there are no problems in the first place. And that's really part of the key of what you do, I think.
Yeah, I try to be proactive because, as Sinclair likes to say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I say it all the time, and that's so key. Also joining us, Kim Stamatelos, the author of The Compassionate Lawyer, a mediator, and also you teach at Drake University.
That's correct.
In Des Moines. And you two know each other. They go way back.
We go back pretty far.
Yeah. And she's right. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yes, and what I love about my friendship with Laura, which again goes back over 20 years when our children were little and we would begin to walk around the neighborhood. And we did that in the years when the O.J. Simpson trial was going on. And so being both lawyers, we would dissect what did the lawyers do and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
A big part of what we do when we see each other is we'll begin to talk about our cases and how we handle cases. And what I love about Laura is she is the quintessential compassionate lawyer. She really helps people that cross her path. If she can't help them directly, she'll refer them to someone who can. She does creative problem solving, helps them try to resolve everything before going to court. But even when she has to go to court, which she's had a couple of court endeavors that she shared with me or recently, she's a compassionate trial lawyer. Which means, you know, as a problem solver, sometimes some cases have to go to the mat. But the guide that's taking you to the courthouse and shepherding you through that process has to be compassionate, has to listen, has to know that you're very fearful about that. And as Laura is telling me the stories of that, I'm just taken with what an exceptional human being she is and lawyer to be able to help her clients like that.
You just said that you were getting to know each other when you had young kids. I've had the opportunity to meet Laura's kids.
Yes, marvelous.
Yeah, she's got a couple of daughters that are in law school.
Right.
And I actually interviewed one of her daughters, Eliza, about net neutrality. She's an expert in the subject and working on that back in Washington, D.C. right now.
Yes, they're great kids, and it's been a joy to watch them begin the law school endeavor.
But you know, one of the things I've noticed is how little the law school has changed since I went in the 70s. In other words, the way they're teaching, I think still can be improved. And although there's a course in mediation, I don't see through my kids that it's being woven through all the subjects. And even though there's a mock trial team and there's moot court, you know, so that there's opportunity to do things that are done in litigation, I'm not seeing that is a part of the process. And so that's why I think Kim's book's important, and people like Kim teaching at law schools where we can start to integrate it more.
This is a time of year when we think about family.
Yes.
Over the holidays, we get together with family. This is also a time of year when many families have disputes. And the idea of maybe not such a formal mediation, but I think a lot of families are trying to figure out some sort of way to mediate internal family issues. What can we learn from lawyers as we look at the family dynamic?
Well, first of all, we can know that when those disputes arise, to be able to get in front of a judge and find a lawyer that can go down and determine who's going to sit at your table at Christmas dinner. Is it going to be your child, your blended family, or the new wife, or all of those things that go on? You're never going to be able to get in front of a judge in time to resolve that. And frankly, judges don't want to deal with that. So what we have are some problem-solving, compassionate attorneys serving in a capacity as something called a parenting coordinator. And the court gives them permission to be in the trenches with the family, handling these disputes on an as-needed basis. So the parties can call their lawyer parenting coordinator and sit with the parenting coordinator and try to resolve it through a mediation process. And then if they don't decide it through the court order's permission, the parenting coordinator can say, no, Junior will go to your house, Dad, for Christmas, and Mom, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
This is, the family dynamics can be a real trick, and really the law can provide assistance in a variety of different areas.
Yes, if parties can ask their lawyers for more innovative measures of being able to resolve these disputes, then they're available. But not all lawyers know about them, and not all lawyers are offering them, because they're so entrenched in that traditional paradigm of you've got to come to me, I've got to go to the judge. But again, these new, younger lawyers like Laura's children and some of these law students that I'm teaching, they're being exposed to think bigger, think about other possibilities. And so again, as we see that happening, the future of the law is just going to be incredible.
Kim Stamatelos, so good to see you again, and I'm glad you're in town visiting for the holidays and getting together with Laura. And Laura, thank you for bringing her in.
My
because it's
pleasure.
always a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.
Your book, The Compassionate Lawyer, I think you exposed a lot about yourself in that book.
I did.
And so it's an intriguing story, but I think it's also an important issue that you bring up, and important work that you're doing in your teaching. And mediation, I think, is a very valuable part of the legal profession as well. Laura Bramnick, of course, if you'd like to contact Laura, if you have issues about real estate, buying, selling, dealing with problems in real estate.
Yeah, dealing with your lender.
Yeah,
I do a lot of that.
yeah, you do. You can contact Laura at her website, talkrealestateaz.com, talkrealestateaz.com. You can call Laura, 480-624-2705, 480-624-2705. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sinclair.